This is Brian Samborino, and you're listening to the Disruptive Consulting Podcast. It's my mission to help decision makers and business owners excel, so I'm bringing you some of the nation's top consultants and executives to break down the strategies that they've used to disrupt the average day-to-day process.
Who is your market?
Who is positive?
That's me. Yeah. How do you typically reach their parents?
CEOs knew it wasn't working. That's why they said, "Okay, come in here." And she always comes up, and she always.
I cannot say enough great things about Zoho.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Disruptive Consulting Podcast. Today, we're here with Vance Morris, experienced strategist and founder of the Deliver Service Now Institute. Vance, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Introduce
Happy to be
yourself.
here,
Tell
Brian.
everyone a little bit about what you do, please.
Sure. So I work with businesses, large and small, showing them how to create experiences out of all the mundane things that they do. One of the big things I do is try to eliminate the service prevention department, which a lot of businesses seem to have. All those pesky things like not answering the phone, email black holes, and all that. Try to eliminate all of those things. And when we do that, we can also eliminate the sales prevention department. I spent a decade at Disney, and they are masters at extracting money from your wallet and leaving you feel happy. So that's kind of what I show businesses how to do. Eliminate those sales and service prevention departments, make your customers happy, and put money in your wallet.
So I met Vance at the New York City Small Business Expo. Immediately captured my attention, and I downloaded one of his free ebooks. Was tempted to buy one of his hard copies, soft covers. He promptly told me, "Don't do it. I'll give you a free copy of the the ebook." Um, Clever marketing, because now I'm on his email campaign. But I enjoy all of the emails that I get because they're always insightful, and they provide a ton of value to me. Um, but the point that I'm trying to make is, it captured my attention because it mentioned we discussed potentially speaking at a couple of virtual events and keynotes and your experience with speaking engagements and a lot of the value that you bring to these engagements. So please, you know, can you talk a little bit about your experience with that, the type of problems that you solve in that capacity, and just how you got into that whole field?
Sure. Well, one of the things, as I mentioned, I worked for Disney and really took everything I learned there and I packaged it up into my own system. I spent 20 other years in the hospitality world. And really, every place I went, I took that system and I implemented it. And I've also implemented it in, what I would call mom and pop bricks and mortar businesses. So when I speak to audiences or do workshops or any kind of trainings, what we really start with is mapping out the entire customer experience. So every place where your business has an interaction with your customer or even with your prospect before they become a customer, and we map that whole thing out. And then we look at it and we say, where can we be better? What can we do better tomorrow than we've done today? Walt Disney called it plussing, so process improvement. So he was always plussing his movies, plussing his films, plussing his theme parks and things like that. And really not sitting back on, your current success, because if you do that, you're just going to fall behind. So getting audiences to really understand that, okay, we've succeeded here and let's let things run for a little while. But you know what? We're going to come back and revisit this because we got to make it better again. The example I like to give is is with my book. So if you order my book on Amazon, it's going to come in an Amazon box. Years ago, if you ordered my book directly from me, it would come in a plain brown box. And I said to myself, well, that's not much of an experience. And I am the experience guy, so I should probably do something about that. So I created a custom box. And then a few months later, I'm like, oh, well, it's a book. I should probably include a bookmark. And then a few months later, oh, wait, it's kind of a workbook. I should include a pen. And then, well, they bought something. I should probably include a thank you note. Oh, wait, I'm already including a thank you note. I'm not going to increase my postage. I might as well put a sales letter in there. And so it's just iteration after iteration. I didn't come up with the grand package all at once. It was, bits and pieces over time, continually plussing that package. And actually, the next iteration, as soon as I run out of bookmarks, is adding a QR code to the bookmark so they can immediately go to a video or something like that. So again, just really taking the lessons from Walt himself of not sitting back and, either letting other employees or direct reports try and, say, oh, no, we're good enough. We're good enough. No, you can always be better. And usually that's the message I'm trying to get across.
So in that experience, how do you think that you became a disruptor, right? I think that what you do is so unique, and that's what really drew me to you as far as expertise or the way that you market yourself. I've never seen anyone do it the way that you do it, or in the light that you do it.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick, one or two things about yourself, would you say they are that would consider you a disruptor in your industry?
Oh, sure. So, I mean, not so much maybe in the speaking or consulting industry. Certainly, as I think I mentioned to you, I still own 3 bricks and mortar service businesses here in Maryland. One of them being a carpet cleaning business. Now, talk about a commodity. And, 2020 has done exposés on carpet cleaning. So we're not exactly held in high regard. But what I did was completely disrupt that industry in my area by providing Disney level service and Disney level experiences with a carpet cleaning business. So, we've scripted everything. Every single employee knows what to do and when to do it. I mentioned earlier, you map out your customer interactions on a map. One of the customer interactions we have is getting in the front door. If we can't get in the front door, we can't clean the carpet. So we've scripted this entire thing out. So we start in the, when the technician drives up, and we park in the street. We don't park in the driveway because God forbid we got an oil leak. He gets out of the van. He's in a clean, crisp new uniform because he carries extra uniforms with him in case he gets dirty on the job before. Walks up to the door, and in his arms, he's got a magic mat, his tool bag, and a couple of towels. Gets up to the door, lays down the mat. It's a foot mat, nice logoed foot mat. Lays it down, knocks on the door because friends knock, salespeople ring the bell. Takes 2 steps back, and we've always taken the 2 steps back, even before COVID hit, because the last thing you want is like a 250-pound, Josh nose to nose through the screen door with Mrs. McGillicuddy, who's like 95 years old. You just scare the crap out of her. So we wait for her to answer the door, and we say, "Hi, my name's Josh. I'm here to create your healthy home. May I come in?" So we don't just barge in or anything like that. Then what we do, and this is one, this is a disruptor, but 2, it is a profitable disruptor. We give Mrs. McGillicuddy a gift. Now, when was the last time you had an air conditioning guy, water treatment guy, carpet cleaner come to your home and hand you a gift before they did any service? They don't even know if they have the job yet, and they gave you a gift. Does that ever happen to you?
Never.
Yeah. So right there, that sets us apart completely. So we give Mrs. McGillicuddy the gift, and it's really nothing big. Cost me all of about $5. It's a special little blue box, and inside the box is a bottle of spot remover, a bag of cookies, and a little note from me saying, "Thanks for letting us into your home. If you got any questions, here's my personal cell phone number." And then we go through and, we go through with our sales process, inspection process, et cetera, et cetera. when we implemented that gift, not only did it separate us from all of our competitors, remember I said it also made us money, is it began a process called reciprocity. So, when somebody gives you something, you feel compelled to give something back. So when we give the gift, people feel like, oh, crap, I should probably, help this guy out. So we saw a 26% increase in our mid-tier package, which equated to about an additional $65,000 a year in sales just from implementing that little $5 gift. So
Wow.
yeah, big bang for little buck.
Wow. Do you think that ingenuity would be, would you consider that your greatest asset in this business?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the top 2 or 3, certainly. I look at ways, constantly that, like I mentioned, I actually wrote about this in a blog post and email within the last few days. I've got a client out in California, huge law firm, and every single one of the lawyers is probably a better barista than anybody at any Starbucks. And they literally they take you to the conference room. They give you a leather bound menu that has every coffee drink under the sun in it. And they will literally go to their little coffee bar, brew up your macchiato, potato juice, 2 shots of whatever drink. And they even have the little decorative foam thing. So they'll put their initials in the foam of the coffee. And then on a little silver tray, the attorney, not a secretary or receptionist, the attorney brings the coffee to the customer.
Do you think that the attorney used to be a barista during law school?
Well, he might have been, but I mean, how many? And the reason we do this is we want our businesses to be tellable. This is like the bare basics of becoming referable, of people going out and saying, oh my God, you'll never guess what happened with the carpet cleaner today. Because if you think about it, if you're sitting down at dinner with your family and, you're kind of going through the day, the last words out of your mouth are going to be, hey, you'll never guess what happened at the oil change today. The conversation just doesn't happen, unless something miraculous happened there, like you got a gift or you had white glove service or something crazy. Certainly an attorney making you coffee is worthy of talking about.
So did you give them that idea, or was that something they already did?
Well, they had been, I just started working with them. I'd love to say I gave them the idea, but they had been with me. I mean, we've talked about, moments of wow, moments of change, how to make those impressions. They've been with me for a little while, so they may have gotten it from me. I'm not sure.
Before we get off this call, I just noticed something, the photo of you and Mickey in the background. Can you bring that a little closer so that we can use that as the cover image?
Yeah, you want that, or do you want my picture with Jason? I got
either one, whichever you prefer.
I'm just kidding.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got a chance to go have beers with Jason. Jason number 3, I think.
Who's
back
Jason?
A few years ago. So yeah, I got Jason, the axe murderer, right next to me and Mickey. So yeah, thanks for good conversation when people come to the office.
Right. So all of that said, what do you think if you had to decide on something when it comes to this could be personal or business, what do you think is your greatest liability?
It used to be saying yes to just about anything, yes to, and I think one of the most powerful things I can do now is say no. Knowing, when you're first starting out, you're like, oh yeah, I'll do this, or oh yeah, I'll do that. When I started the carpet business, I was like, oh yeah, we can clean anything. And then you realize, well, you're just kind of getting screwed, and you're very, you become a jack of all trades, a master of none, and nobody looks at you as, an expert in the niche. And then also, as time goes on, you begin to get choosy. So being able to say no. These days, my biggest liability is if somebody asks for help. I mean, truly, genuinely asks for help. I probably give a little bit more than I should without, hitting the time clock and saying, yeah, that's going to be $50. You know what I mean?
I get that. And honestly, I think that for me, that comes down to less of a liability and more of just good business practice, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
short
Sometimes it
story, I
comes
don't want to
back
go
to
on
bite
too
you.
much of a tangent, but I recently had, I outsourced some of my work, people on Fiverr or Upwork or just those connections. Some people reach out on like LinkedIn, hey, I can do this service. And I recently outsourced some of my work offshore. Someone said, hey, I can do some video editing. I said, oh, this is great. And they, fine, let's get some stuff going. Here's a couple tests, blah, blah, blah. Give some examples. Long story short, work's not that great quality. Harassing, let's part ways. No problem. I'll pay you $10. Not the biggest deal. Harassing message, harassing message, harassing message. Hey man, just stop bothering me. I'm gonna take care of you, right? The it's but it, yes, very good business goes a long
Yeah.
way, I think. So
I
um
mean, I'm constantly reminded of how small a world it is.
right,
And you talk about good business. I mean, this is how small the world is. So I do boot camps down at Walt Disney World. I bring business owners down there. We do half in the classroom and we tour the parks. And last year we were actually doing, I was leading a group. There was only about 20 of us leading the group through the Magic Kingdom, and security pulled me over. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. And the guy just, starts, okay, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Who authorized this? Yada yada. I said, look, I've got a contract with Disney. I'm allowed in here. I can do this. And it took some time, and took like 5 minutes to get it all sorted out. Of course, everybody in my tour, they were like the paparazzi with their phones. They're all snapping pictures of me getting, questioned by security at Disney. And like a week or two later, a guy pops up on my calendar, and I do all my calls usually in like 1 or 2 days a month, and so they're all like little 11, 12-minute calls. And this guy gets on, and I said, okay, so what are we talking about? How can I help you? He goes, you don't recognize me. I said, no, I really don't. He goes, well, didn't you give a tour last week at Disney? I said, well, yes, but I don't remember you on it. Because I mean, people pay me a lot of money to go to these things. I at least remember their face. And he says, yeah, I'm the guy, the undercover security officer that you talked to for like 10 minutes. He had been on my list for over 18 months. He knew
my God.
exactly who I was when he busted me in the Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
And we went on to, I mean, he wanted to talk about his real estate investing business and how to market it and, things like that. So we had a good conversation, but I'm like, this is how small the world is. This is why you got, exactly to your point, this is why you got to have good business practices.
Hey, wow. So we have a few minutes left. I try to be respectful of everyone's time. So we have a couple questions that I want to get to. So one that I think is very important for my listeners, how in your space, how does technology influence either your product, your service, or your industry? Now, I'm sure you use a CRM or some type of management tool, but how does technology itself influence?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we use, whatever is appropriate. So whether it be social media, whether it be, one of the AI generators, we, and that's actually been, everybody says it's, it's disingenuous, and, for the idiots that just put prompts in and then just take everything and copy and paste it and try and send it out. Yeah, you get what you deserve. However, when you're looking for ideas, give me 10 ideas to write about on customer service. I mean, that thing just pops up, all sorts of stuff. And then, you can take it from there. I find though that having a mix of online and offline is one of the best strategies people can use. Primarily because there's not a lot going on in the mailbox these days. You get an email and boink, it can be deleted, or it never gets there. What you say about the postal service, they still have like a 99% deliverability rate, which no email service in the world can even come close to. So I highly encourage people, in addition to doing online stuff, making sure that your website works. I mean, God, if you haven't done that in a while, go through your website as a customer and see what pages are broken and links don't work, etc. But get offline. The mailboxes are empty. I got my mail today. There was 3 things in there. So if you put an oversized postcard in there, a magalog, a newsletter, it's going to get opened if you do it right. So certainly that is, may not be technology, but I think you really got to combine both the stuff that's online with offline, and your response rates are just going to go through the roof.
Back to the basics.
Yeah.
Okay. And then finally, for those listening that are in similar industries, I don't know how much you know about our products and services, but how do you think our products or services could complement something like yours?
Well, certainly. I mean, being able to, you're going to have to edit this. Should we clap and make a noise?
No, it's good. No editing now. Go ahead.
No editing now.
So, I mean, think about this, right? Like a CRM or something like that, or improved technology. How do you think that in either the speaking? I mean, we think about this from a virtual events perspective, or speaking engagement, hybrid events, or in the carpet cleaning industry, we're talking about CRM or outreach, or putting all of your data in one place and having a centralized data management. I think I'm kind of answering it for myself, but
Right.
having the ability to harness all this information and push it all out, and being able to
Well,
reach everyone from one location, but also access this from one location on your own and
right.
harness this data
Yeah.
is
I mean,
extremely valuable.
that's huge. I think, when you're talking about online events and Zoom calls and things like that, people need the people on screen. There's so many amateurs, I guess, for lack of a better word, where you really have to think of this as being on TV. And, you wouldn't go on TV with, an unmade bed behind you. Knowing what your environment is huge. But yeah, having a repository for all of that information is vital. I think it's incredibly important.
Well, thank you. Again, I appreciate you taking the time to be on the show. I'm sure everyone's going to take a lot out of this, and they're going to enjoy it. That's important to me too, more so than them taking content from it. So if you want, just drop a few lines, tell everyone where they can find out more about you and connect. This is your chance.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So best place, head over to the website, deliverservicenow.com, and that will actually take you to the same place that took Brian to get your free ebook. And then you can get your fill of Vance, so to speak, where I will go ahead and drop some tidbits in the emails to you. Yeah, I have a lot of fun writing those. People always ask, do you write those yourself? And I'm like, yeah, every day. But yeah, my deliverservicenow.com website is the best place to start. And there's other things there that you can download. And honestly, you could start there and have months worth of things to implement to improve your business.
If you're on the shoreline in Maryland and you need your carpets cleaned, where can they find out about that?
Yeah, you certainly give it Eastern Shore Carpet Cleaning. Give us a buzz, 410-822-6100. Never shy about giving that number out.
Wonderful. All right, man. Well, thank you. We will connect soon for that virtual event.
Great, Brian. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.